This is the one where Susan's shoe melts in acid.
And the troop are press ganged by divers.
And then go on the lookout for some micro keys.
Only to end up in court.
It's called the Keys of Marinus.
Here we go.
We're embarking on a voyage all through time and all through space.
Encountering Daleks, Thalanude, and the Cybertronic race.
Centaurans look like taters, and Silurians all have wonky scales.
And the Doctor has a TARDIS, we're reviewing all his tales. Who back when? Reviewing all of who there is. Who back when?
Subscribe and rate on iTunes, please.
Episode by episode, we're trudging down this temporal road. Come join us on this odyssey. What other choice could there be than Who back when?
Who back when?
Hello, and welcome to episode 005 of Who Back When, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Flaphammer.
And I'm Ponkin.
And today we will be reviewing the 5th story arc of the Doctor Who series, The Keys of Marinus. Enchanting.
Before you launch into this review, can I just say two things?
Yeah.
Number one, I think you did a spiffing job of introducing this podcast episode.
Thank you, it was my first time.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
And secondly, I really think that we should thank our fans. I mean, seriously. Don't worry, we're not going to be sycophantic, this isn't going to last long, but seriously, this podcast has blown up, and it's all thanks to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely, and I can't believe the response we've had globally.
Globally?
Actually,
oh my
globally.
God, so many countries are listening to this. Well, not countries, but yeah.
Well, the stuff from the UK, that's to be expected.
Yeah.
I mean, we're awesome. But, Italy.
Italy. I've been tweeted at from Canada, from the US, from Spain.
Yeah, which I think just goes to prove there are cool people in every part of the world.
Yeah.
It's this British sense of humour isn't confined to Britain.
No, this is a universal sense of humour. This is
absolutely. It's not even human.
I was just going to say
this is serious.
This is serious shit.
This is some serious stuff. I'm pleased everybody knows how important Doctor Who is. It's the number one priority in life.
I'm so pleased that there are people interested in Doctor Who, like the classic Doctor Who, all over the world.
Absolutely. And as a thank you, at the end of this episode, we will be reading out, at least one mini review from a fan.
Yeah. Please do remember, if you go to whobackwhen.com, there are some instructions there as well, but or details. But if you like,
we loved hearing from you. Every time, it's like a little rainbow in my heart every time I receive a message. So please do.
Yeah, if you guys want, for future reference, if you want us to read out your tweets or your mini reviews or anything, feel free to just tweet us or send a message through the website whobackwhen.com, and we'll feature it on the podcast.
And to be honest, the worst we can say is no.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plus, you can leave a longer review on the website if we don't get around to reading it.
Yeah, I mean, even if you say some terrible shit, I think that makes it even more likely we'll read it out.
Yeah, as long as it's not crazy offensive, we will read your tweets.
Yeah. No racism, misogyny, or just gibberish, I guess. Those are the three things that I wouldn't be comfortable reading.
Yeah, unless that racism is pointed at Daleks,
Oh, absolutely.
I'm going to second that.
Yeah. Well, actually, I wouldn't even be comfortable with that. Not at Daleks. Maybe at Yartex people.
Yartex.
the Vord, who we shall be coming on to shortly.
In fact,
anyway,
shall we launch into
let's get to Doctor Who.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a 6-episode story arc.
Yes, and the first one is called The Sea of Death.
Oh my God. I'm so pleased that we're doing this.
You can hear how good this episode is going to be already. Essentially, the TARDIS lands, one of the most brilliant miniatures I've ever seen.
Oh my God, it's beautiful.
Yeah, actually, probably took somebody quite some time to carve that really rubbish little TARDIS that they stuck on a few grains of sand and panned out to.
Yeah, well, they put it on this miniature island with a miniature, whatever, the skyscraper, the shard, basically, on this island. And
do you remember?
Either this island is tiny or the TARDIS is enormous, but it is a beautiful miniature
some of the later Star Wars films, do you remember that footage of George Lucas going around reviewing all the little miniatures for the movie? And he's really weighing it up, he's stroking his beard. And I imagine that's what Terry Nation was doing at the start of this episode when they showed him this TARDIS.
Yeah, I don't know who directed this.
No.
Yeah.
But Terry Nation,
Terry Nation all the way.
Total creative control.
Yeah. There are quite a few bits. Yeah. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, this story was written by Terry Nation, who also wrote the second story, The Daleks.
Yeah, most famous for The Daleks.
Yeah, exactly.
Terry Nation.
And also for the creation of Blake 7. I just want to reiterate that because I will be getting back to that later on.
He's not that famous for it. But anyway, getting back to the episode, essentially the TARDIS lands on a few grains of sand, which we're told is a beach.
Yeah.
upon landing, they do see something on the scanner outside. They're not quite sure what it is. Susan's quite scared, but typically Ian says, "Oh, it's probably just a shadow."
No, he thinks he saw a shadow, but like at first they see like the sea. Is that the sea? Can we go out?
Yeah, and they're really excited. Of course.
I wrote down the quote, by the way. Susan goes, "Grandfather, can we go out?" And he responds, "I don't see why not. There's no danger about."
You've said that so many times.
So many times. Have you not learned from your mistakes,
There is
Doc?
always danger.
Ian thinks he sees something, but like, yeah.
But before any of the characters see anything, we see a figure on the beach who I can describe as nothing else other than a diver. You do see the...
No, we don't see the divers yet.
You do.
No, we start off with like this montage of the fish torpedoes arriving. This very slow montage, and one of the torpedoes, they look like fish had sex with torpedoes and gave birth to these things. And one of them like kind of crawls up on land.
Okay, yes, but we do at that point then see a diver skulking. He doesn't encounter any of the characters, but we see.
Is that right away? I'm pretty sure they identify the beach as made of glass.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. They see that first, and then we see the diver. It doesn't matter. The diver, by the way, he looks like he's wearing some sort of black S&M Kermit suit.
Yeah, I was just going to say gimp. He's a diving gimp. Do you know what? I was led completely up a blind alley when I first saw this diver.
Why is that?
Well, because this episode is called The Keys of Marinus. I'm thinking Marinus, underneath the sea, like it's a maritime kind of thing. So I thought this is going to be an episode about divers.
Yeah.
And they're going to take the TARDIS or some other machine.
I totally got like Captain Nemo vibes from like of the first, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes of the first episode.
And they're going to have to find like a treasure chest underneath the sea.
Yeah, we're going to get into submarines.
It's going to be full of keys. And it's going to be great.
Yeah, no dice. We're doing something else instead.
This episode was great. But not in the way I was expecting.
No, it's a fantastic episode, though. Hang on, wait. Can I read out another quote? Yeah. Because it is brilliant.
We could just make this a whole episode of quotes. Like, there's so many good ones.
They're standing on the beach, they're looking out onto the sea, and they're like, "Oh my, it's perfectly still, like, it's spectacular." Susan goes, "It isn't frozen, is it?" And the doctor responds, "No, impossible in this temperature. Besides, it's too warm." Wait, it's impossible because of the temperature. Besides, it's also too warm.
Well, she's asking if it can freeze.
It's
too warm to freeze.
Am I the only guy who thinks that he's like saying the same thing twice? Impossible in this temperature. Besides, like aside from the temperature, it is also too warm. Which, by the way, Doctor, is also a temperature indication.
I see what you're saying, but Hartnell does far worse than that. I mean, even in this episode, and I'll come on to this point, I think a lot of the actors have improved. Actually, coming into this episode, Barb in particular, I think gives a majestic performance throughout. The Doctor continues to shit all over his lines, like to the point where he has to say most things twice.
Yeah.
So like the fact that he's just rephrased himself there, like, isn't surprising.
Maybe his original line was, we're spending way too much time on this line, but maybe the original line was something like, "No, it's impossible, it's too warm," and he goes like, "No, it's impossible in this temperature. Besides, it's too warm." Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, so this diver who we see skulking around, like, they still haven't seen him. He tries to get into the TARDIS and fails, because obviously TARDIS doors are unbreakable, we all know that. The troupe themselves walk around and they find what the Doctor describes as a one-man submarine. Yeah. Yeah, you with me?
Yeah, hang on. Where you've missed a couple of things, I think.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I've made fantastically deep. We both made. No. Okay. What?
I made 18 sides of notes.
Yeah, and I made, like, I don't know, 10 pages computer typed. Anyway, so, alright, check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, if you think that my subsequent comments are completely superfluous, then please tweet me and tell me that I'm an asshole, but I think they're very valid. So, number one, and by the way, I use the word skulking in my notes as well. There's a lot of, like, high five.
Audible high five.
Nice.
There you go.
I think there's a lot of, like, quote-unquote, dramatic skulking in this episode in general.
Yeah.
By dramatic, I mean, like, it's the kind of skulking that happens on stage. You know, like, on stage, you have a very limited... No, not like in the way they move, but in the way that they're not visible. Because, you know, on stage, you have a very limited amount of space, so someone can be standing right next to you.
Yeah, so somebody's on the stage, basically.
Yeah, and the other characters don't see you because you're supposedly out of sight.
Happens a lot in this
episode. Particularly
what comes to mind is when Barb's hiding from the Vord.
Yeah.
And she attacks one of them from behind.
That's not the Vord.
Is that not a Vord?
No,
no, that was Altos.
That's Altos.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But like in this
she
case,
attacks Altos from behind, and he could clearly see her.
Yeah, definitely. But in this case, it's like Kermit is literally just standing behind them, and they don't notice him because they just walk. Well, literally past him. Kermit just gets up, walks away, and like no one's seen or heard him. So that's number one. Number two, the thing that you did skip is before they leave that initial frame with the TARDIS, Ian notices that the beach is made out of glass.
Yeah.
Or rather, that there is glass on the beach. Mm-hmm. Like, the doc picks it up, shows it to Ian, he's like, oh, that's amazing! Mm-hmm. And the doc hypothesizes that it may have been put there deliberately, and if so, why? Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we going to explore this further?
Well, I think it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It's like a glass moat, although it's not particularly effective, as we have seen, because they are able to essentially walk over it. So, to disarm this moat, you just need a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Although, having said that, the next thing they find does lead into this. So they find a diver, an empty diving suit, and
You've skipped ahead again, dude.
For God's sake,
Seriously, I shit you not, man. You're skipping ahead.
It's an important point.
Yeah, before we get to the torpedo, we've got a melting shoe.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Pretty fucking important
okay,
detail.
Okay.
Oh, God, it's like
Okay.
I'm working with amateurs. Okay. I'm sorry to cut you off, Lappy, but seriously, this is important.
Okay.
Yeah. They walk off screen. Susan decides she wants to go for a paddle. And, starts taking off her shoes. She puts them on, like, a rock or something.
She's had a long journey.
Yeah. Barbara kind of stumbles and accidentally knocks Susan's boot into the quote-unquote water. And just as Susan is about to step into the water, Ian stops her because the shoe is literally dissolving. And it turns out the sea is made out of acid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Pretty important point, Nespa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay, now please
Which,
go on.
again, leads me into the next point, which is they find an empty diving suit.
Okay.
And initially they can't work out why it's empty. Then they notice that the diving suit has a tear in it.
Yeah.
And they deduce from this, okay, there must have been a diver man inside, and he's been dissolved completely.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing inside left. And I think that ties in quite well with the glass point. So this guy maybe's fallen over on the beach, cut by some glass, it cuts open his suit, and then the acid gets in.
That didn't happen, though, because the guy was inside. Yeah, anyway,
there is no one inside. It's completely empty. There's not even mush inside of where his corpse used to be.
Yeah, it's completely dissolved. It's not even dissolved, it's like evaporated.
Yeah.
But, okay, so they find two torpedoes. One is completely empty, one has the diving suit in it.
Yeah.
Can I just make a point for you? Explain this.
For me.
Yeah, explain the logic of this scenario to me, Flappy.
Okay.
If you're in an acid-proof torpedo, which is a mini submarine, would you be wearing a diving suit inside of it? Isn't that a little bit like wearing braces and a belt?
I think...
Commercial airline pilots, they do not wear, like, jetpacks in the cockpit.
Okay, but...
Bus drivers don't have, like, a bicycle strapped to their back.
Okay, but the Titanic did have lifeboats. You know, it does make sense to double up. Like, I think really, I don't think it's that ridiculous a thing to do. Well, particularly since the diver has actually been dissolved from the inside out, so clearly the two forms of trying to protect himself didn't work.
Yeah, by the way, Ian, who is, like, unscrewing the lid of this torpedo that's literally been travelling through a sea made of acid, he's doing so with his bare hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done, Ian.
Don't worry, he's a science teacher. He probably knows exactly what kind of acid it is.
Yeah, probably.
It's completely safe.
A fun talking point, by the way. When they see the diving suits, the doctor remarks that it's clearly made for something not entirely dissimilar from humans.
Yeah, absolutely, because, it's the exact shape of a human.
That's true.
Obviously, that's all the BBC costume department could come up.
But I realised something that we didn't bring up in the Daleks.
Oh, yeah.
Which actually happens later on in this episode as well. Sabitha, we'll get to Sabitha, but the Doctor actually refers to Sabitha as a human. And in the Daleks episode or story, he was talking about the human race and, like, human values with the Dal. In a sense, that's almost racist, but it's really weird where
racist.
If they look like humans, they must be, like, it's a universal concept that there's such a thing as human and inhuman and human values and morality and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and the Thal are, like, pretty damn good humans. They've got a whole societal makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, sorry, just an observation.
Well, it's a similar kind of observation to the fact that everyone everywhere is English.
Yeah.
Speaks with quite a good English accent.
Yeah, but not just that. Like, actually telling them that they're human is kind of weird to me. I'm sorry. I think that's kind of weird.
Well, is it like in violation of the Prime Directive or something?
Well, it's in violation of something. I mean, surely it's like if you were
to... the Doctor doesn't care about the Prime Directive.
No, but like
going back to the caveman.
If you meet an alien and that alien looks exactly like a human on the outside anyway, you wouldn't start referring to that alien as a human. That alien would go like, but I'm not human, buddy. Like, I'm a something. I'm from the planet Marinus, asshole. Anyway. So, whatever.
It didn't strike me as a problem.
Anyway, so, right, yes, whatever. Susan's picked up a new pair of shoes in the TARDIS. She exits the TARDIS. She sees, like, the most ridiculous flipper prints in the sand.
Two flipper prints,
because as we learned in Marco Polo, Yetis leave one print, Kermits leave two.
Yeah.
And
apparently no creatures walk on other planets, right? well, to be fair, at this point, we don't know that it can't hover.
Yeah.
maybe it can. But, like, maybe it can jump really far.
Maybe we'll get to that later. Maybe, like, a later story is going to have, like, hovering, no-legged creatures.
Okay, we don't actually get to that later in this story.
Not in this, no.
But it, like, it could be on the cutting room floor. Like.
I'm hoping that Terry Nation has written another magnum opus with people who have either 0 or 3 prints.
As we noted before we started recording...
This is so superfluous. Doesn't matter.
Well, before we started recording this episode, we've noticed a common theme going on in all of the early Doctor Who's we've
we'll get back to Susan in a moment. Let's have this tangent first.
Which is that in the first episode, so much stuff is mentioned. All these tiny little details are mentioned that make you think the story's going to go a certain way, and then they're never mentioned again.
Yeah.
And, I'm referring to things like the single Yeti print.
The single Yeti print. Hang on. Wait. The Yeti itself.
The Yeti itself.
We saw the Yeti and nothing happened.
That's on Earth. I mean,
the metal creature that's been petrified on Skaro.
That lizard that was like Ian thought was pure stone, despite the fact it was obviously metal.
Yeah.
They do it a lot.
No, it was
he taps on it and he goes, "Oh, it's made of stone," and the Doctor goes,
"You're right,
idiot, it's metal."
Anyway, that's a different story.
But anyway, like the general point is, like, some crazy shit is always brought up in the first episode, and it's never expanded upon. And there are two things in this episode. There are two things.
Number one is
the acid itself.
Yeah, acid sea.
We never talk about the acid sea. I mean, who has an acid sea?
It's pretty fantastic. But okay, dude, let's press on, and our listeners will realise for themselves that this acid sea will never come into play again. Well, actually, sorry, it does for one tiny little scene, but it's just a cutscene and no one cares.
Yeah, it's a really funny cutscene.
It's hilarious. Okay, anyways, so the troop decide let's go to this building because Ian very suddenly realizes, oh my god, there's a building here, there's a house.
Yeah.
The island, by the way, is practically flat.
Yeah.
Okay, and this building that looks a little bit like the Shard had sex with an upside down ice cream cone is enormous.
Yeah.
Literally anyone can see it, but he's just noticed it. They decide to go there once they meet up with Susan, but Susan's already gone there.
It's like an African urban population. Like, nothing for miles around, just desert, and then there's one huge building where all the rich people live. And
anyway, so Susan's already at the building, and once again we get to see these beautiful set extension wall panels. Like in this case, they've drawn like these arches on a wall, and it's actually really well done. I was marveling at these paintings when I saw that. It's beautiful. Anyway, so she walks around, and one of the Kermits is lurking around the corner and like literally holds up like a knife, ready to like slit her throat. But what happens? He leans against a wall or something.
Well, he leans against the wall and seemingly just falls over dead. Well, initially I thought he'd fainted, but no, he definitely is dead. And they explore that later on. The diver actually died.
Is that what happened? I thought he like was pulled in because we get.
I didn't see anything happen other than him fall over, and then the man in the white cassock turned up. The monk.
Oh, that's later on. That's when she's inside the thing, dude. What the fuck?
That's the same.
No.
So I've got Susan goes to visit the building. It's a scary place. There's a diver lurking. And then Susan is captured within some swinging wall. And within, she finds a diver who tries to attack.
That's a different Kermit. There are lots of different Kermits running around. Okay, so here's what I got, okay? And please correct me if I'm wrong.
You can cut this back together.
Okay, anyway, so this guy, I'm not sure if he leans against a wall, or if this is literally someone inside the building opening this trapdoor and, like, pulling Kermit into the building. Mm-hmm. But when Susan turns the corner, no one's there. Like, it's empty.
Yeah.
Yeah? And which leads me to believe there are two different trapdoors, or two different kinds of trapdoors in the walls. There's the deliberate kind, which is, like, pull someone in and kill them. Mm-hmm. Because we actually get to see someone standing on the inside. And I don't know if that's Roby Guy we're going to meet in a little bit, or if that's, like, the best boy grip on the set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Roby Guy.
It's probably Roby. You're probably right. But then also, later on, Susan just leans against a wall, and it turns out that's a trapdoor, and she falls in. But she's not held captive or anything. No, she just falls in.
She's just inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's wandering around on her own inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, Bob and the others, they've, like, checked the TARDIS. They've decided that the acid sea is, like, a defense barrier.
Yeah.
And they've headed to the building to look for Susan there. At which point, as per usual, they split up.
Yeah, they split up, and as per usual, they then get taken prisoner.
Yeah. Nice.
There's a similar theme.
I do see a pattern here.
Coming up here. Well, actually, I've got in my notes, and I think this is
Go for it.
The Doctor, Barb, and Susan all end up being taken prisoner together. So they somehow end up together. The Doctor and Barb find Susan, and they're prisoners. Ian is also inside.
Yeah, but he's not taken prisoner.
No, he's not. Exactly.
Ian is like, he falls into the building, basically.
Yeah, Ian falls into the building, wonders what's going on, and then starts wrestling with a gimp.
Yeah. But before he starts wrestling with a gimp...
But he starts wrestling with the gimp because he sees a white monk.
Yeah,
and
but
the
before we get to
gimp
that...
is attacking the white monk.
But before we get to that...
And Ian, being the man that he is...
Dude, before we get to that... We have Susan, and this literally made no sense to me at all. So we have... Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, by the way. This first episode is going to be a little bit all over the place because it makes no sense to literally anyone in the entire world. So anyway, Susan's walking down this corridor, and Kermit, once again, a la the stage, is just hiding. He's just pressed up against the wall.
Yeah.
He's not even in a corner, he's just pressed up against the wall.
It's not really
Susan
a corner,
can't see
maybe an alcove.
Yeah, okay, fine.
A small alcove.
Clearly should be visible to literally anyone in the world.
Yes.
Susan starts walking in his direction, then doesn't see him, turns around as this dude in a white cassock walks into the corridor, looks at her.
She says nothing about that.
Says nothing. The dude looks at her, turns back around and walks off stage.
Yeah.
Then, all of a sudden, Kermit jumps out, tries to kill Susan, and then all of a sudden is stabbed in the back by literally nobody.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
He just falls down dead.
He falls down dead. Who stabbed him?
Yeah, I know. The white cassock monk was miles away.
And he was backed up against the fucking wall.
Upset. They never explained it. They didn't even say, like, oh, there are holes in the walls, and he's just, like, lanced him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, without seeing. No
explanation whatsoever. But then anyway...
It's as if the gimp had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Roby returns, cut back to Bob and Ian, who at this point they fall inside, whatever.
Yeah. So they begin speaking with the monk. They enter into discussions with the monk about what the hell's going on here. Is that where we are?
No. See, we've done the back and forth again. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you know what? Barbara falls in, she's taken prisoner. Ian falls in, he ambulates. Susan has already fallen in. The doc has fallen in. Everyone is at this point inside the building. It doesn't matter how they got there.
Yeah.
We cannot agree on this.
Suffice it to say, Ian is free enough to fight gimps.
Yeah, and he saves Roby from a gimp.
Yes.
And at this point, we get to see the... by the way, listening back to the old episodes, I think we need to give our listeners a drinking game, because I say at this point a lot. So whenever I say at this point, deliberately or not, you need to take a shot of something. Hopefully you're old enough to drink. Anyway.
Yeah, not like heroin. Or like, please don't think we're advising that.
Yeah, or a pistol. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Ian stumbles upon Kermit trying to kill Robe Guy. He disarms him, punches him in the gut, and then Roby, flips this switch, and, that opens a trapdoor, and Kermit falls to his death into the sea of acid.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like a very Indiana Jonesy type scene, and then all of a sudden we hear nothing about the acid sea ever again.
It made me think exactly of Indiana Jones Part 2.
Okay, so now we learn that the Kermits are actually called the Vord.
Yes.
And you and I had a conversation about this earlier. We're not sure if the Vord are like humanoid like human-like people wearing diving suits, or if they're like other kinds of aliens wearing these diving suits. They're referred to as diving suits.
Yeah.
But what's his face, Roby guy, he refers to them as, you don't look like the creatures, the Vord. It's like,
and also another thing I found a little bit confusing and is never explained. So Yartek, the leader of these Vords, the monk kind of describes Yartek as one of, the people of Marinus.
Yeah.
And he's just like a guy who's got the idea he doesn't want to be controlled by the machine. He wants the power for himself.
Yeah, at this point, by the way, they've all been... Seriously, you've skipped ahead again.
I haven't.
Yes, you have, because at this point, Ian, who is like not at all surprised by the fact that Roby guy speaks perfect English, is reunited with his friends.
Yes.
Okay. And another, like Kermit, henceforth referred to as the Vord, appears surreptitiously as they walk off screen. But anyway, before we learn of Yartek, we learn the history of the conscience of Marinus.
Yeah.
And everyone is there now. It's not just Ian.
That's not true, by the way. Like, we learn of the conscience of Marinus after we learn about Yartek. We definitely do.
No.
Yeah, we do.
No.
Rewatch the episode. It doesn't matter.
I've seen the story twice, by the way.
They're consecutive. Yeah, but I watched it, last night?
I watched it the second time today.
Alright, so what I was saying, I was a little bit confused because the white monk inferred that Yartek was one of the same people. He was just one of the people of Marinus. He had different ideas. Well, this is what they said.
Okay.
But Yartek is dressed as a Vord.
Yeah.
He's like in full gimp suit. And the Vord are referred to as like a separate species.
Yeah, very much so.
But Yartek is their leader, and he is of Marinus. Yet he still looks exactly like a Vord and dresses as a gimp. And they never quite explain what Vords are. I'm not even sure Vords aren't actually the same as the people of Marinus.
I don't know either. I thought at first that they were like a cult.
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly.
Anyway, so regardless of the order, Yartek is brought up in connection with the history of the conscience of Marinus.
Yes.
And this guy, White Roby guy, whose name is Arbitan, he explains that he's there basically guarding one of his inventions, which was called the Conscience of Marinus, which is this machine that at first was sort of a judge, I guess, and then after a while, as the technology evolved, it was designed to spread goodness among the people of Marinus.
It was essentially meant to get inside people's brains.
Yeah.
So they automatically knew what was right and wrong. So nobody ever had to make a decision.
Yeah, and no one ever did anything that was evil or whatever.
Yeah.
At this point, drink, people! At this point... the doctor, by the way, just saying this because you mentioned this before we started recording, and I'm sure you're going to mention this towards the end of the episode. The doctor says, that's fantastic. Like, that is one of the most amazing inventions I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
This guy that brainwashes people into doing nothing but good things.
Yeah, but in an impressive way.
Okay, yeah, fine. But Yartek is like the one dude who rejected the idea.
Exactly. And nobody actually brings up the point, which you think Ian would. Like, especially being in just post-war Britain, 1963.
Yeah.
That's not a very good idea. Like, having a machine that infects people's brains and just, like, tells them what is right and wrong. Like, nobody really likes that. And it's never brought up that might be a bad thing until the very, very end.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
But basically, they're told this story and everybody's completely on the side of the machine.
Yeah.
Like, Ian, Barb, the doctor, Susan, they're all like, this sounds like a great machine.
Anyway, to cut a long story short, anyway, so Yartek is the dude who decided to rebel against this machine.
Yeah.
However, it's not that he just wants to take it down. He wants to use it for his own, like, selfish purposes. He wants to use it for bad. To, like, enslave the people of Marinus.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's not a revolutionary who wants to stop this control of the mind. He wants control of the machine so he can do
wrong. And
so he's very definitely a bad guy.
Yeah, and now this is where we get into, like, why this story is called the Keys of Marinus. So the machine, the conscience of Marinus, is powered by these 5 microcircuits.
Yeah, the main microcircuits, they say.
And they are, like, the 5 keys of Marinus. And he's hidden them.
Yeah, and those keys, when all inserted into the main machine,
will
activate the super-duper part of the machine where it gets into everybody's brains.
Exactly. So he hid them on 5 different locations on Marinus, and a year ago, he sent his own daughter to retrieve the other keys, and one of his, like, main dudes.
And they've never come back.
They haven't come back. So he goes like, listen, you need to retrieve her and the keys. As in, he tells the Doctor and Susan, Barbara, and Ian, like, you need to help me find my daughter and the keys.
Yeah.
And their initial reaction is like, fuck that shit.
As you would be. And, like, the Doctor does his usual, I'm sorry, we've got our own problems.
Yeah.
Like, and goes back to the TARDIS. Actually, on this occasion, fair enough. Everybody's in agreement.
Yeah,
Let's
totally.
leave.
But Arbitan has put up, like, this force field around the TARDIS.
He's a real bastard.
He's a total bastard.
And then you get a voiceover of Arbitan telling them, I will not let you leave until you've done the shit I asked you to do.
Exactly.
I wasn't quite aware whether that was like a tannoy.
I think it is a tannoy.
Down, or was he actually inside their heads going, do it?
Oh my god, maybe... I didn't even think about that. That's really fucking clever.
Because they're kind of all looking up.
Yeah, that's true. I thought it was a tannoy. To be fair, I thought it was a tannoy at the time, but it doesn't matter.
Sound tannoy-esque.
So he, like, blackmails them into doing his bidding.
Yeah,
right?
They can't go wrong.
Yeah, and he gives them these travel dials, which fit on your wrist. They look like wristwatches, and they allow you to travel through space, like basically being from place to place.
And obviously, what it reminds you of is
Blake's
Captain Jack Harkness.
Sure, that's later on, where his also allows him to travel through time. Right? Yeah, but
in a really shit way.
Here's my Blake 7 reference.
Yeah.
So Terry Nation, who wrote this story, wrote in the travel dials.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they used to travel in Blake 7.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I think what he's done is basically like he's cherry-picked the best bits of his Doctor Who stories and turned them into Blake 7. Kind of. Anyway, I think that's awesome. So just a quick talking point before we move on.
So the episode 2.
Yeah. Arbitan goes, I will not let you into your time machine. Here, take these wristwatches and go on this suicide mission to rescue my daughter.
Yeah, but
he never goes like, wait, hang on. You can use your time machine, but I'm coming with you guys and we're fixing this. He also...
It's easier to make someone else do it.
He also, in my opinion, or as far as I know, he never explains why he wants to retrieve the 5 keys. What does he want to do? He hid the 5 keys for a reason, so that the Vord wouldn't be able to take over the machine.
I think the problem is the Vord are now getting too powerful, and they're actually, like, getting it looks like trouble from the Vord. They're actually being quite successful in attacking the palace or whatever.
Yeah,
so
the Shard.
In attacking the Shard. So he needs to get the country's shit together, get this machine on, sort everyone out. That's what I thought.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Anyway, so they kind of agree to this blackmail proposal.
Well, they have to.
Yeah.
They actually have no choice.
Yeah, and they beam out, at which point, drink people. Arbitan
we get a little cutaway. Just to end the episode. Dun, dun, dun. A Vord kills the monk. And it's great. He deserved to die. He's a really bad guy.
Oh, he totally deserved more than just to be shivved in the back by a Kermit.
He's a complex character. Like, he's often treated as like a good guy, as like the leader, and like, you know, he's got a daughter and, you know, sympathetic towards her.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's a massive bastard. Like, he's keeping them captive. He's the Doctor, basically.
He's totally being a Doctor.
He's exactly like the Doctor.
Anyone who is scientifically inclined and of a certain respectable age is an arsehole in this series. Doesn't matter. Anyway, the episode is concluded with a bit of a cliffhanger.
At one point.
Yeah, definitely. The episode is concluded with the Dr. Ian and Susan arriving, like they beam in, and they find Barb's travel dial with blood on it.
Yeah, okay.
Episode 2, The Velvet Web.
Okay, can I just lead off with episode 2
Go
now?
for it.
At this point...
Drink.
Thank you. At this point... This story arc becomes amazing.
Yeah.
Like, this is where it starts to get really good. They turn up, it turns up, it's a complete red herring that there's blood on her dial.
Totally.
Like, she just slipped, and she shows the little greys, and, like, it's nothing.
Yeah.
What's actually happened, Barbara is now a queen. Like, in the 5 minutes that have passed, Barbara has become a queen. She's draped in fine linen.
It's not even 5 minutes.
From a fruit bowl.
Dude, it's not even 5 minutes. Like,
she has like 16 servants. It's
she beamed in maybe 16 seconds earlier.
Yeah.
And she's already like well acquainted with the social hierarchy of this new area.
Absolutely.
That she's in.
Like, she seems to know each individual servant, and she knows what they're for.
And not just that,
food.
she has developed an attitude.
Oh my god.
She's been waited upon so intensely in these past 16 seconds that she's now like ordering people around. She's like, fetch some food for my friends.
She looks like a Greek guy on like red figure pottery at a symposium.
Yeah.
Like, she's lying backwards, ready for grapes to be lowered into her mouth.
Yeah, while some really tall big-dicked slave is waving a palm leaf in her face.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Long story short, she's having a fantastic time.
Yeah.
Ian is the only one, when they all turn up and they start talking to Barbara, and like, what the shit's going on?
Yeah, there are two ladies here who clearly are aliens, but we're just going to treat them like the help.
The doctor and Susan are like, okay, well, I can get on board with this. Looks great.
Ian is the only one.
Very wise.
Yeah.
And I quote, I've got a quote here.
Yeah.
I don't know what the price is yet. Very, very sensible.
Yeah. And he also says, nobody showed me the menu yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice one. Ian is the only sensible person here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then this dude arrives.
Yeah, whose name is...
Altos. Yeah. And he says, welcome to the city of Morford.
Morford?
Morford. I mean, there's like Morford.
I have Morperton. Yeah, I got Morperton from that. Both very suburban English place names.
Yeah. And once again, he and all these other servants, they're basically acting like Ood.
Yeah.
Because he even says, like, our entire society is founded on the principle of helping other people.
Yeah,
basically.
we just want to fulfill your every need, your every wish, your every desire.
Yeah. Susan immediately asks for a dress.
Yeah.
She sees, like, some silk lying about, goes like, oh, I asked
she
for a dress.
basically has an orgasm, just like, you know.
Yeah.
She's a typical 16-year-old girl. Oh my god, a dress!
Like, would you mind making a dress for me? And then the doc shows what fucking double standards he stands for, because he immediately objects and like goes like, you can't take advantage of these people, and then immediately thereupon asks for, and I quote, a well-equipped laboratory with every conceivable scientific instrument.
Yeah.
That's what he asks for. It's like, oh, right, yeah, so don't get the people in your sweatshop to make a tiny suit, a dress for my little granddaughter, but bring me every scientific instrument known to man.
Ian is the only one who remains calm, and, you know, as he says, like, I don't know what the price is yet, and he notes as the guy walks away, he never blinked.
Not once.
Not once
Nice.
did he ever blink.
So they go to bed in a circle with their clothes on top of, I guess, what must be luxury to them, because they only get to sleep in dentist chairs now.
Yeah,
so now they're
that's what I was
sleeping on
thinking.
like these slabs instead in a circle.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, when they arrived, there were like these sirens.
But as they sleep, the effects in this episode are so much better than in previous episodes.
Oh my god, yes.
The eyes in the walls, like it's done really well.
It's so nice.
It's actually quite frightening. If you can
Wait, explain to the good people of Podcast Land what the eyes in the wall are.
Oh, sure. Well, like their eyes in the walls. I've forgotten.
There's like this huge Greek bust, I guess, or face on the wall, and the eyes light up as they fall asleep. A door like shimmies open, and
a weird blonde woman walks out.
Yeah, who is, we'll find out later, Sabitha.
Yeah, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. She walks out, and she puts these like little things on their foreheads while they sleep.
Yeah.
But Barbara...
This is fantastic.
This is so freaking good.
Barbara, after she's had this thing placed on her forehead, kind of wakes up.
Yeah.
Well, she tries to wake up, and then there's this fantastic strobe light effect going on, and she's clearly having a terrible headache, like whirring all over the place. Fantastic acting performance from Barb.
Yeah,
here,
totally.
By the way. Like, it's really well done. And then she faints.
And then later on, they wake up again, and everyone they're still in like this room of absolute opulence.
Exorbitant luxury.
Yeah.
And
except Barbara, who now, she's basically turned
She's the last to wake up. Like, she's feeling a bit muggy, but when they wake her up, she's like, everything's horrible.
Yeah, like, Susan has literally just received like the best dress in the world from Altos.
Yeah.
And
it's rags.
It's rags. It's all dirty rags.
Yeah.
And like, she's basically turned into the Rowdy Roddy Piper in They Live. Like, she now sees the world for what it really is.
Well, it seems like she's having, like, to the others, obviously, it seems like she's having a psychological episode.
Exactly what I was going to say.
But, in fact, like, she's seen through the Matrix.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this room, and we get to see it from both points of view. From the other's point of view, it's opulent. And from her point of view, everything is dirty and shoddy. The beautiful dress is just rags.
And she keeps saying to them,
the doctor hands her like a porcelain whatever, like a chalice.
Yeah.
And she just throws it away because it's just this rusty cup, which kind of makes you think, what were they really snacking on when they ate truffles 5 minutes earlier?
I dread to think.
Yeah, were they eating like little dog turds or something? But either way, it doesn't matter.
It's quite possible, but the next bit doesn't make as much sense. So, obviously, they all think Barb's having an episode.
Altos arrives.
Because Altos arrives, and he's like, well, she's clearly having an episode. I'm going to take her away.
Yeah.
And they just let him.
Yeah.
Like, everyone else is like, oh, all right, yeah, she's looking a bit peaky. And she's going, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Like, please don't let the strange man take me away. And they're like, oh, you'll be fine, Barbara. Like, you'll be up in the morning.
Yeah, and she, I guess, just kind of runs away.
Yeah.
Like, she basically escapes, and then Altos goes into a different room to talk to brains in jars that tell him to kill both
brains
Bob.
with eyes.
Brains with eyeballs.
Eyes.
Yeah.
Like, that are sucked up against glass.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Such good effects.
Yeah.
So he talks to these brains, and the brains are like, they're running the show.
Yeah.
And they're the ones behind the Matrix, and they tell him, kill Bob, who's escaped.
And at this point,
and
they
kill
reveal
the woman who was meant to manipulate her as well.
Yeah.
Who is Sabitha.
But they revealed that the whole thing is done on a system of, like, this chemical called mesmerin.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Great name, by the way.
Amazing name.
Yeah, good name.
Yeah, but this mesmerin is making them see whatever they want to see.
Yeah.
Like, it's a brilliant drug.
And it's probably also technological in nature, because when they arrived, we heard these sirens, which were the same sirens we heard during the strobe light effect.
Yeah.
And probably that's why, when they first arrived, they saw the same opulence that Bob saw. And that was meant to be, like, even, like, deepened in their sleep, but it failed on Barbara, I guess.
Yeah, with some, clearly, like, the wiring went wrong in Barbara's brain. Like, it wouldn't accept it. Her brain
no,
she
when Sabitha puts the thing on her forehead, she just turns her head and it falls off.
Oh,
and that's why she wakes up and sees that Sabitha's there. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so Bob runs off and, like, hides in this little potato cellar.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that Altos gets Sabitha and locks her in the same cellar.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob starts talking to Sabitha, who's kind of under the spell, but she's slowly but surely coming out of it.
But just before that, actually, the brains start talking about what their plan is.
And what do they say?
They're essentially saying that they want to enslave the guests. That's why they put them on the mesmerin and are telling them all this stuff. Because they're going
to, like, incorporate them in the workforce.
Yeah, they plan to enslave them. They're trying to remove all their memories of Bob.
Yeah.
Because, obviously, that's a problem, because Bob's seen the light.
Exactly.
And they go into quite some detail about what they're going to have each member do. The Doctor's too old to work, but he's very intelligent, so we can, like, get him mesmerising more people.
Yeah.
And, like, Ian's the strong one, and he can just be, like, hitting rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know I can't remember what Susan's meant to do. I don't know. Lure young men in?
No, Susan was meant to take the place of Sabitha.
Oh, okay, yeah. The one who failed us.
Yeah. How are they speaking, by the way?
They've only got eyes. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. So, Ian and Doc, they go to inspect the quote-unquote lab, while Susan is God knows where.
And I think it was really effective when they did it. They walked into the so-called lab.
Which is just an empty room.
Yeah, and they're holding up, like, tin cups and stuff.
Yeah, it's like, oh, look at this. I'm going to have so much fun in here, says the Doctor.
Yeah, like, Ian and the Doctor, like, both win points for their acting performances, though.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what got Ian the part in The Great Escape. Like, that kind
nice.
Yeah. Like, it was...
Nice reference.
It was quality. Yeah.
So, cut back to Potato Cellar. Altus turns up in the Potato Cellar to, well, essentially kill Sabitha. And notices that Bob is there. She tries to run off, fails, but then as she's being throttled by Altos, Sabitha knocks him cold.
Yeah.
And Bob actually does escape. Sabitha's still there.
Yeah.
But she actually does escape, and she finds Ian.
Yeah.
And Ian, at this point, as you said, drink, by the way, as you said, he does not remember her.
He has no memory of who she is. Like, is actually, like, wants to turn her into the authorities.
Yeah, he even goes, like, you must be the one
you must
they
be the
said.
one they're looking for.
Exactly.
Ha-ha. Like, and turns her into the brains with eyes.
Which turns out to be the dumbest thing he could have done, because he basically just leads her into the secret lair.
Yeah.
And all she has to do is pick up a spanner and break some machinery, and the brains die.
I'm skipping ahead a little bit.
Go for it.
This doesn't make any sense. So they mesmerised Ian, right?
Yeah.
Ian has brought Barbara in. And the brains are explaining to Barbara what they're doing. Like, they're saying precisely, we're tricking these people, and, like, we're taking over their brains and they know nothing about it. And Ian's standing right there, listening to them say this. Like, that I'm sorry, that doesn't add up. But
no, it doesn't add up.
I'll let it slide, because it's such a great episode.
It's fun. I love this episode.
But as you said, like, when, it was quite easy for Barb to foil it. She just gets a spanner out and starts beating the shit out of them.
And the brain's talking, no,
It's actually quite gruesome.
It's very gruesome. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like, one of the eyeballs just kind of flops down like a limp penis, and they are dead. And everyone comes out of this... Exactly. So they go outside. They're now with both Altos and Sabitha, and people like outside in the city. They're going like full Shai-Hulud. They are, it's Shai-Hulud. They are burning down the city, and so Altos and Sabitha, who've now joined them. Mm-hmm. Explained that Altos came with another guy named Ephraim.
Yes, I remember this.
And both of them were like sent by Arbitan to get the key, along with Sabitha. And Ephraim must be at the next step in their travel cycle. So it turns out these travel dials, they're actual like dials. They go in a set sequence.
Yeah.
And Ephraim is one step ahead. No, sorry, he's 2 steps ahead.
Yeah.
And there's like this incredibly convoluted story of like where the keys are, which step Ephraim is at, and blah blah blah.
At the end of which, the troop decide, as they always seem to do, to split.
Let's split up, guys.
But
I've written this down. It's so good.
Can you remember any reason why the Doctor wants to stay behind? I don't know what he's doing.
He doesn't. It's not that he wants to stay behind. I've literally written that he's a total bastard who just wants a holiday.
Yeah,
that's what he says. He says
actually, not the Doctor. William Hartnell just wants 2 episodes off. We don't see him at this point for about 50 minutes.
Yeah,
we don't see William Hartnell.
So Ephraim's key, or the key that he was meant to go get, is in the city of Millennius, which is, as the Doctor phrases it, quoting Altos, the highly civilized society.
Yeah.
And he says this in a way, sort of alluding to the fact that every other place on this circle is basically just inhabited by vermin.
Yeah.
And he wants to go to the highly civilized society, while the rest are to follow the regular circle.
Into the screaming jungle.
Yeah, exactly. And he explains to Susan, like, no, this is, like, my dear child, I don't have time to explain this to you, but this is really the wisest course of action. Yeah, I'm going to go to the highly civilized society, and you're going somewhere else.
Yeah.
And they decide, I shit you not, to meet up in
5 days.
He says 5 days. Ian says we'll need another 2 days.
Oh, okay.
So it's a full week. The Doctor gets a whole week off from the guys. He could not be more chuffed.
And let's not skip ahead too much, but when they see him again, he hasn't done anything.
No, I was going to say,
he's actually achieved 0 in that week. They've retrieved, like... Okay, we're not going to spoil that. But they've done a lot of shit.
Yeah, but it's not even that. Like, it's not even that he hasn't accomplished anything. He doesn't even say where he's been.
He hasn't even tried to do anything.
No, he's literally just been... He's probably just hung out, had margaritas, hung out in the library. Like, that's it. So anyway, they decide to go on. Susan, this time, beams out first.
Yeah.
And she ends up in...
A jungle.
A jungle where... In the background, all we hear...
screaming, and she's holding her ears like she's having like some sort of...
manic...
epileptic shock.
Yeah, she's having a fit.
Yeah.
And she's just like shouting at the screens, like, be quiet, stop, go away from here.
Cut to... End of episode 2.
Oh, beautiful.
Beginning.
Oh my god, I love this story so much.
It's so good. It like, compared to other Doctor Who stories, it fits together well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
anyway.
Remember I told you before we pressed record that there were two things about Susan that were my 2 favourite parts of this whole story arc.
Yeah.
They're coming up now, dude.
Okay. Alright, why don't you lead us off into episode 3?
Episode 3 starts off with the rest of the troop arriving, sans Doc, obviously, and Altos, who hasn't read the memo about always distrusting Susan, he starts hypothesizing that what she says that she just heard may have been an animal.
Well, it may have happened, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, and this is number 1 of my 2 favorite bits with Susan, although no one has actively doubted her word, is so used to being doubted that she still emphasizes and promises that she did hear something.
Yeah.
So anyway, surprise, surprise, Bob suggests that she and Susan stay put while the rest of the guys, while the men
so Ian Altos and Weird Girl all go off together.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. While they go look for like a way out through the foliage.
Susan and Bob stay behind and discuss with each other just how manly Ian is.
Wait, no.
Well, they're not saying good things about Ian. They're saying, like, he's a leader, he tells us what to do, but I wish he wouldn't tell us what to do quite so much.
Exactly. Well, they say, like, or she says, I wish
Treats
Ian wouldn't...
like children. Yeah.
Like China.
Like China.
Like fine China, she says.
Yeah.
Like they're so breakable and fragile.
Yeah. But
anyway,
they do at least acknowledge that Ian is the leader of this group.
That's so true.
He's the strong-willed,
then
powerful.
One more instance of something that is brought into the story, alludes to something of magnanimous importance, and is forgotten immediately thereafter. Okay. Susan says she recognizes the noise from somewhere, the noise that she heard. It was the sound of evil, and she's heard it somewhere before, but she can't quite place it.
Ooh.
We never hear anything about that again.
Yeah, but hold on. That might be something like in modern Doctor Who, like one of those little recurring things that might come up again in a couple of episodes.
Oh, maybe.
Like with a modern-day Matt Smith kind of thing. Oh, cracking time. Or like,
maybe.
Where have I seen that girl before?
Even though I gotta say, I kind of doubt it.
I doubt it.
I think that this is
a loose end.
The one and only time that we hear anything about this.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. So Susan is then attacked by a vine. This is number 2 of my favourite things.
Oh, I love this. I made a note of this. Okay. Let me give my synopsis of this, then you can give yours.
Okay.
I've got Susan is overrun by slow-moving vine. The forest is like I said, it's just grabbed like a tiny piece of her ankle. She's screaming. She's incapacitated.
Okay.
By a tiny little bit of vine. Barbara doesn't see this, then comes up to her and goes, "It's just your imagination."
Wait. There's one bit that you left out.
But
that is my favorite.
Susan accepts that it is just her imagination.
Wait.
That's the best bit.
My synopsis of this occurrence is slightly... It just includes one more thing, and that is... What I've written down is... Susan is attacked by a vine, and Bob proceeds to beat it to death with a rock.
Yeah.
And then still doesn't believe that it happened.
Yeah, says it's just your imagination. Yeah, but
she literally just picked up a rock and beat a plant to death.
I know.
And then doesn't believe that it happened.
Don't you think it's unbelievable that Barb says it's just your imagination? She's been dragged across the floor by a vine.
Yeah.
It's just your imagination. And Susan goes, yeah, you're probably right. What? Again, she's so used to people just doubting anything she says. Yeah. She started to lose her own mind.
Anyway.
Anything that happens to her becomes inconsequential even to her.
Even to her herself, yeah. So then Bob spots like an idol, a statue.
A grotesque.
A little ways away, and she walks up to it and notices that the next microcircuit is hidden atop it. And Susan's like standing afar and going like, no, don't do anything. And then Ian and Altos turn up again, and they go like, "Oh my god, that's great! Barbara has found the next key. That's fantastic." But then it's a trap. The statue that clearly has a dude standing behind it.
Oh,
its hands
with actual arms coming out. Yeah.
The arms grab a hold of Barbara. It swings around, and she's taken prisoner, I guess.
And it turns out the whole place is a booby trap.
Yeah,
like everything.
But before we get to the other side of the booby trap, Altos picks up the key because she dropped the key before she got taken, and they decide to split up again. He leaves with Susan, and Sabitha stays on just for a tiny little bit, long enough to identify the key as a facsimile. Yeah. She notices this is an imitation key.
One little bit is longer than another bit.
Exactly.
The keys look exactly the same.
So this is a fake, and that will actually come into play later on in the story.
Yeah, it actually weaves in really well.
Yeah. And Ian goes, you know what, don't worry about it, you go ahead, join up with the others, I'm going to stay here and find Barbara. I'm going to go into the trap knowingly, and if I don't find her, I'll come meet you in a little bit. But anyway, I'm going to find you. So he then goes up to the booby trap, it grabs him, swings around, and now he's in booby trap land.
Yeah, and everybody gets boobied. Like, Barb's captured in a net.
Yeah.
Ian's trapped behind, like, a metal cell.
Yeah, but before then, the way he meets her is he's standing in front of this statue of, like, a soldier carrying a pike.
Yeah.
And he steps on, like, a little floor panel type thing.
Yeah, and it tries to cut his head off.
He's almost cleft in twain. But Barbara, shouts, like, Ian, look out, behind you! Yeah. And he gets out of the way in the last second, so she saves his life. And he actually acknowledges this as well.
Yeah. Oh, no, Ian's not a bad guy. He'll acknowledge, that women can do things.
Yeah. No, he's
just the doctor.
So then they find a door. There's a door, and...
No, Well,
yes, that's why...
So is Barb under the net at this point?
No, she hasn't even gone through the door.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
She's by this door, and in order to pry open the door, because it's locked, they noticed that there are like these bars, these metal bars or rods on the floor a little bit further away. So Ian goes to fetch one of the bars. The door suddenly opens. She doesn't wait for him. She just goes in.
Yeah, doesn't say anything.
Doesn't say anything. Goes in. A net falls from the ceiling, trapping her. The door closes.
Yeah.
And
Ian, a big metal wall comes down.
Yeah, like trapping him behind bars.
Yeah.
And not just that, the ceiling where, like, above Barbara...
Oh, yeah, the vines start descending.
No, they're not vines. I thought they were like spikes.
Maybe they were.
Very Indiana Jonesy. Like, the ceiling has spikes and it starts coming down and she's trapped under a net. And we also get a little cutscene of some guy in, like, this cottage or whatever.
Well, he's a weird monk. Another weird monk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, anyway, doesn't matter. So this dude is there.
But I think it's important that the guy that approaches Barb while she's in the net, he does look like a monk. He is a monk.
Oh, he's totally with Arbitan.
Yeah, and he's an Arbitan guy. And the first thing he asks her is why she wants the keys. And she says that Arbitan sent them.
And to prove
he needs
this,
proof of that.
Yeah, and she basically goes like, here, look at my travel dial. Mm-hmm. And he says if it's set to the same cycle as Arbitan would set, then he'll have his proof, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he walks into the cottage and is immediately attacked by a vine.
Yeah, which actually, it practically does strangle him to death. Like, he's going to die 5 minutes later.
Yeah, as a consequence
spoiler
of this.
alert.
Yeah.
As a consequence of being strangled by this vine.
Yeah, but Ian arrives to save the day.
Yeah.
As the macho man that he is.
Mm-hmm.
And...
But he does believe them, that they're from Arbitan.
Yeah,
and he wants
the only reason he believes them is because he says, only those warned by Arbitan could have avoided my traps, he says.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Literally bullshit. Arbitan said nothing about booby traps.
And Ian only managed to get out of the booby trap because he had a crowbar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So then, just before he dies, he utters the words
DE302.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
And then he dies.
Which leads us on a little mystery tour.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows.
It's like a little treasure hunt.
Yeah.
I love this bit.
Oh, it's brilliant. So they walk into this other room and there's like a safe.
Yeah.
And Ian's like, oh, he must have been referring to that. And he tries all different manner of combinations to make DE302 work.
No dice.
Nothing doing.
So then they start going through the books. There are like lots of plants and books in this room.
This is great. The monk's writing a book.
About the balance of nature and the increase in destructive forces.
I've got The Tempo of Destruction. Brilliant line.
That could have been the name of this episode, by the way.
Yeah, The Tempo of Destruction. Actually, that's a name for a band, people.
Yeah. Nice.
But,
and then they hear whispers.
But it explains things very well, because the forest's like going into overdrive, basically.
Yeah.
Like, the vines are growing much too fast, everything's happening too fast in nature in that forest.
Yeah.
And that's what the screaming noise is.
Has he been analysing this, or has he caused this in some way?
I think he's just been analysing it.
Okay.
He seems like a botanist monk.
Yeah, I was going to say botanist, but yeah. And before he died, he said, like, when the whispers arrive, that's when nothing but death will follow. Yeah, you are completely boned. So, at this point, drink, people. They hear what Barbara says sounds like whispers, but it really sounds like just a screechy bicycle.
Yeah.
And the jungle starts attacking the building. It's like watching...
It's really
It's like watching Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Like, they're in this little cottage.
They have the Triffids, I was thinking.
Oh, totally, yeah. And the jungle is collapsing in on them, and they just scramble to find something, and Barbara realizes, kablamo...
Was it Barbara that realised?
No, sorry,
Ian
realises, yeah.
That it's actually, the code is a chemical formula.
Yeah.
The guy's a botanist, it's a chemical formula, and there are jars all around with chemical formulas on them.
Yeah, so now they need to find the jar that's marked D302.
And they do.
Yeah, Barbara does. Well done, Bob.
Well done, Bob.
They get the jar, and they teleport out of Dodge, arriving in a snowstorm. Yeah, it's fantastic.
And it looks as though, it's left on the cliffhanger of it looks like they're going to die of exposure.
Yeah, exactly.
Enter episode 4, The Snows of Terror.
Oh my god. Okay,
I love Terry Nation.
Is this not... Okay, of the 6 episodes, is this your favourite?
This is definitely my favourite.
This is totally my favourite, just because it's so fucking controversial.
Well, as we were talking about, like, this story hangs together. Like, as much as I loved the Daleks, as much as I loved Marco Polo, like the other two, like, long ones, they go all over the place, and they're at times quite hard to follow.
Yeah.
It seems like they've had multiple script writers. This one hangs together beautifully.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
But anyway, episode 4,
Snows of Terror.
Looking like they're going to die of exposure, but then a fat Eskimo turns up.
Yeah, Barbara and Ian, they're rescued by this guy who's a straight-up pervert.
Oh my god. Like, immediately, you can just see his, like, lecherous eyes.
Oh my god.
Up and down, Barb.
If you just saw him, you would go like, oh, this guy looks like a total Hagrid, right? Yeah. But then, when he's taken them back to his cottage and Barbara wakes up, he starts, like, stroking her hand.
But,
in a way, you know that he invites kids back into his ice cream
Absolutely.
truck. This guy is a straight-up pervert.
But the pervert does mention that a stranger helped him get the two of them down into his cabin.
Yeah.
And after some description, they do work out the stranger is Altos.
Yeah.
Who is looking for Susan and Sabitha.
Yeah.
So
he also says...
So Ian's like, got to find them. Like, literally got to go.
And we also find out that there are wolves all over the place. Because Ian says, like, oh, we would have frozen to death out there. Or, no, sorry, Barbara says, we would have frozen to death out there. And he goes, nah, the wolves would have eaten you first.
Yeah.
So then Fatso, whose name is Besser, I think.
I don't care what his name is. I've just got creepy fat guy CFG.
I mainly call him Fatso Loco in my notes.
Anyway.
So yeah, Fatso Loco, he says...
Who's like from the south of France or something?
Possibly.
His accent's like of that nature.
I don't know. He's from the island of paedophilia.
Again,
this guy
could
is
be Moulton.
Such a creep.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the second Ian leaves, he is on Barb like a fly on shit. He has one thing on his mind, and that is rape.
Yeah, totally. Anyway, so he says that Altos came by a couple of days ago. A couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Which leads you to believe that they beamed into different places.
It seems as though that
they spent 2 days in Booby Trap Land.
In the Screaming Forest. They must have been there for 2 days.
Exactly.
But it seemed as though it was, 22 minutes?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It was the time of an episode, because they didn't go to sleep or anything during that episode.
Or maybe, I don't know, maybe they passed out in the snow. They do pass out in the snow.
Well, she wakes up in the cottage, so maybe they spent 2 days in the cottage or something.
Maybe they're just, like, comed from, like, being in the snow.
That's possible.
Let's go with that.
Anyway, so Altos came by a couple of days ago raving about saving a couple of girls.
Yeah.
And now he's gone back out to find them.
And it turns out Creepy Fat Guy has stolen the girls' trinkets.
Yeah, well, we don't find that out yet. First, Ian basically decides to trade in his Oyster card. He like goes, listen, here, can you lend me some fur or whatever to go out into the cold and find my buddy?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, dude, I sell these furs. Like, I will trade them. And he decides to trade his travel dial for some furs. Anyway, he heads back out. He gets some furs. He gets a leather satchel, which he never checks the contents of.
I don't know, that surprised me. Like, when I found out about the leather satchel again, I was like, why did he take it in the first place?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what did he think it contained? Like water supplies? I don't know.
He basically just gets some furs, a leather satchel and a lantern, and heads out into the cold.
Yeah.
And immediately Perby Hagrid just turns completely rapey. Mm-hmm. And even tells Barbara, we need to fatten you up, eh?
Yeah.
And also adds,
nice.
Don't worry about the wolves, that door will keep anything out or in. What a complete rapist. So they have dinner.
Yeah.
And as Barbara...
Tense dinner.
Yeah, and this is where what you said comes in. So Barbara is clearing away the dishes and finds in a drawer, she finds Sabitha's necklace with all the keys.
Yeah.
And her travel dial. Mm-hmm. Or like her, Altos, and Susan's travel dials.
Yeah.
And we find out that the girls are in a cave somewhere.
Yeah, a cave on the mountain.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Ian has found Altos.
Yeah. So Ian, when he finds Altos, realises quite quickly that... Well, Altos tells Ian that Creepy Fat Guy is a bad guy.
Yeah, and the only reason he saved them was because Altos insisted that he saved them.
Yeah, and then Altos is like, check what he gave you in that bag, and he opens it up, and it's just lumps of raw meat.
Yeah, exactly, to attract the wolves.
To attract wolves.
Yeah. And by the way, just want to say, it makes literally no sense that Creepy Fat Guy saved them. Literally no sense. He could have just dumped Ian outside in the cold while he was still knocked out.
That's true.
Kept Barbara. He could also just have kept the girl for himself. But clearly, his priority in life is to just have these women.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants the men dead and the women for himself.
Yeah.
So why didn't he just do that? But he actually rescued Ian.
Yeah. Maybe
makes
he's got
no
more heart.
sense.
Maybe he's got more heart.
I doubt it. This guy is heartless as shit.
Yeah, he is pretty heartless.
Anyway, so they get back to Fatso Loco.
And Ian comes back and proves once again what a man he is. He's pretty rough with creepy fat guy.
Oh, he comes in just as Fatso Loco is like
the shit out of creepy fat guy.
Creepy fat guy, Fatso Loco, is chasing Barbara around the table when Ian arrives.
Benny Hill style.
Yeah, by the way, to Fatso Loco, this is like foreplay. So
yeah, he's running around like...
I have waited. I'm not going to wait anymore.
There's nowhere to go. Run out into the snow. I'll only rape you there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So then Ian forces him to, or Ian and Altos basically, force him to take all of them.
Ian doesn't need Altos' help.
Okay, fine. But they do force him to take them to the cave.
Yeah.
Okay. And gotta say one thing now that I do not understand. They don't take the keys, they don't take the travel dials. They leave everything in the cottage.
Okay, yeah.
Why?
Well, maybe it's because they've got to make some travel across the mountain. They want to take as little as possible. Like, that could be...
It's not like it takes up a lot of space, and it's very possible that they'll have to just beam out, which would be the easiest thing.
It's true. They're not heavy keys. Like, maybe they should have thought ahead, but, like, I can see where they're coming from. Like, they wanted to have a little bit of, less luggage. Let's go with that. That's all I've got.
Sure.
It's the only excuse I've got.
Anyway, they get to the cave.
Yeah.
Beautiful ice effect.
Yeah. Oh, it's lovely.
Oh, it's amazing. They've just got this crackly, like, plastic
It's
foil.
almost as if for this episode they went to a different production company.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
It has kind of the same production value as the Daleks episode.
I think better. I actually think better.
Okay, it is better because they have more money now.
There's a couple of badly done things in the Daleks episode. This one, like, there's very little. Aside from the miniatures at the start and at the end, very little's done badly. Like, most of it's pretty high value.
Okay, you know what? I'll agree with you with that. However, I think they reuse some of the sets.
Yeah, and we do get some nice stock footage of a wolf.
Yeah, we do
like,
get that as well.
Really grainy 1920s footage of a wolf.
Yeah. Anyway, so they get to the cave, and there they find... and we've had a cutscene of Sabitha and Susan, like, just around ashes, like an old fire. They don't have any heat, they're dying of cold, basically, and they venture deeper into the cave. And then the dudes arrive with Bob.
Yeah.
And... Fatso doesn't want to go on into the cave because he says there are demons in there.
And he's quite right. I mean, one of the first things we see are these weirdly dressed Icemen.
Yeah.
They seem to be completely...
They look like medieval knights, by the way.
Yeah, but they're completely inactive. Actually, it's quite reminiscent, again, of Indiana Jones.
Yeah. It's totally that.
At the end, well, I say reminiscent of Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is reminiscent of this episode.
Yeah, exactly. There are so many things about this story that are reminiscent of the Last Crusade.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. The Last Crusade, when they turn up right at the end and they see the old Crusader who's guarding, like, Jesus.
There's even the abyss that they have to cross. They have a rope bridge, very much like Temple of Doom.
Except quite a bit shorter in the sense.
Very short.
It's like you seriously could jump across that.
Totally.
It's like maybe 8 foot.
See, I think that's a set that they reused from the Daleks. I think that's the set where Hunk number 1 and Ian jumped across.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. They get to the rope bridge. Everyone crosses the rope bridge except Fatso Loco, who stays on the right side of the rope bridge and cuts it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he runs back like, haha, you fuckers, you're gonna stay here forever and die. And Ian's like quite pissed off.
As you would be.
Yeah.
Well, he's pissed off with himself. Like,
yeah, exactly.
How could I be so stupid as to trust creepy fat guy?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they go into the room with the frozen knights.
Yeah, and they see the key encased inside a massive, very, very clear block of ice.
Yeah.
Like, so clear that they can see the key perfectly, wouldn't it? Yeah. And for some reason, like, I don't actually quite understand why, maybe you know. It's melting. The ice is melting.
Oh, no, there's a valve next to them. So the ice is is completely frozen, right?
Yeah.
So the key is frozen inside. The knights are guarding this block are also frozen.
Yeah.
But there's like a valve, like a heating mechanism that Barbara notices, and when they start turning it turns warm, and that melts the ice, but also the knights.
Yes.
So anyway, they get the key, but the knights stay awake, and they start like tussling with Ian.
Yeah. Well, the others run out. Ian stays behind, man that he is.
Yeah.
And just like You lot go. I'll stand here and fight the Iceman.
Yeah, and in the meantime, while they've been thawing, they've been constructing this makeshift bridge out of stalactites.
Yeah, really strong stalactites.
Yeah, so while the knights go after them,
perfectly conical.
Oh, perfectly. Yeah. So and while the knights are coming after them, Susan creeps across these stalactites to the other side, reattaches the rope bridge. They all get across. And then they cut the bridge down again. So the knights are now trapped. There is no way across. They are trapped. One of the knights even dies.
Also, Ian does so well in the fight with the Iceman. He actually has time to block up the door where they're coming through.
Totally.
Not completely. Obviously, they do get through eventually, but enough to slow them down.
Totally.
Yeah.
So
what a man.
Yeah, but but now there is no way for the knights to get across. No way. One of them even falls down into the abyss, dies, screaming.
Again, exactly the same with the Temple of Doom.
So, Temple of Doomy. So then cut back to Besser or Vessers or whatever, Fatso Loco's place. He's inspecting the travel dials and the keys, going haha, I got some great stuff here. Why the fuck did they leave them in the cottage? I don't know. Anyway, so the dudes arrive, and his reaction is basically just to scream like a little girl and run away. And but
then CFG is killed by an Iceman.
He comes back. He comes back. He comes back just as they're putting on the travel dials.
They put on the travel dials and they're like, haha, die, bitch.
Yeah.
Basically, the travel dials.
He takes Susan hostage for a second, then he's stabbed in the back by one of the Icemen's...
Through the door.
Yeah, through the door. And there's my question. How the shit did the Ice Knights get there? Because they were trapped on the other side of the abyss. All of a sudden, they've somehow gotten across.
Well, you don't know. The Icemen might be very clever. They could have easily fashioned the same conical ice blocks that Ian did. It's possible.
I guess. Okay, fine.
Either way, we're quite happy that they kill the fat guy.
Oh, totally.
It's alright.
So then, cut to what looks like a museum exhibit. And there's a dude on the floor, dead. Ian appears, checks out the guy, presumably dead, and is then hit over the head by a gloved man.
Yeah.
We don't see his face. Who then puts this medieval mace in Ian's
hands, very carefully, delicately weaving his fingers around the mace.
Yeah. Puts it in his hand, opens a cabinet, which triggers an alarm, and steals the key that's been resting inside this cabinet. And that's basically the end of the episode. My question to you, Flappy, where are the others? Because they all beamed in at the same time.
That's quite
where
true.
Are they?
They don't necessarily... we don't know how this beaming thing works.
But you would assume that they beam into the same place.
I thought they beamed to the same place. But maybe they got beamed to separate, rooms, 20 yards apart. It is possible. But, I thought that. All of a sudden, Ian's on his own.
Yeah.
And I don't... They never explain why, but we don't know exactly how the beaming device works, to be fair.
Okay, fine. To be fair.
I made a note, obviously that is the cut scene. I just made a note here. I haven't seen the Doctor in, a fucking hour.
That's true. We haven't seen him in 2.5 episodes.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. How can this show even be called Doctor Who?
Yeah.
It's Ian and Friends.
Ian and Friends.
Yeah.
Welcome to episode 005 of Ian and Friends.
Speaking of which, episode 5, The Sentence of Death.
Oh, sorry, do you mean death sentence, Mr. Nation? Yeah, okay, sorry. Sentence of death.
No, it's good. This is more grandiose. Sentence of Death. Yeah? Anyway.
Yeah.
The man with the gloves in the suit, he frames Ian. We see that again. Oh, by the way, all of these 1963 episodes, when you see the start of an episode,
it's the end of the previous episode.
It is the end of the previous,
but it's a reenactment.
Not the same cut. Exactly.
It's a reenactment.
So watching them one after the other is bizarre. It's you see the same lines in the same scene, but done in a slightly different way. The man in the suit and the gloves frames Ian with the mace again.
But we don't know who he is. There is, however, someone else in the room.
Yes.
And this guy is named Taran.
Yeah, well, and he brings Ian into another room and starts interrogating him. In fact, he says something like,
he's in the same room.
I am the head interrogator.
Yeah.
Taran.
Yeah. I'm recording this whole conversation on my shoebox that he holds up. It's the size of, I don't even know what.
Taran seems like quite a stand-up guy, very official to the rules.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Anyway, Ian is being charged with murder, it turns out, which takes him completely by surprise. He's like, it doesn't, like, Ian seems a bit naive here, because he's kind of like, well, I told you what happened, why don't you exactly believe me? Like, even though I've been found on the floor with a mace in my hand, why don't you believe that I'm just telling the truth?
Yeah, and he explains that, no, the burden of evidence is reversed in this land. And basically you need to prove without a shadow of a doubt that you are innocent.
And then, just as everything's looking terrible, hello, Doctor.
Yeah, the Doctor arrives.
He turns up smiling and cackling. Ian says something like, the laws in this country are absolutely abysmal.
Yeah.
The Doctor comes in, I quite agree.
I quite agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your opinion, Doctor. We haven't seen you for... Well, it's been days.
Yeah,
it's been several days.
And this is all he's got to say.
In fact, wait, hang on. Hasn't it been a week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has actually been a week. And, by the way, how the Doctor has learned of all of this, I don't know.
I also have another point to make. In my notes I made, it is explained to them that in this world, or in this land, the burden of evidence is reversed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would kind of... that works on the presumption that they know, as in the people of Millennius, this place is. The people of Millennius know that they are aliens.
Right.
As in, they know that they are not from around here.
Okay, yeah.
Surely that would already cast some doubt on the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they don't do that.
It's just like they get regular alien visitors.
Yeah. We know that you're aliens, but we're actually not even going to investigate this at all.
They've never seen the little porting device on their wrist, because at the end of this episode, when they port out, Terran and the other guy there are like, what?
Next episode, yeah.
What the hell's going on?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to
it's
that.
Like, this isn't a regular occurrence, but anyway.
Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. I also want to ask another question. What is your theory about this? Did Arbitan... Arbitan hid the 5 keys in 5 different places.
Yeah.
Did he fashion the block of ice and the ice knights? Did he put one with this...
In the museum.
In the museum. Yeah. Did he put one in the Screaming Forest with this dude? Yeah. And also...
I assume... It looks as though Arbitan has, like, people that he trusted. So, for example, the weird monk who gets killed by the vine.
Yeah.
Like, he's entrusted with the key, because the weird monk actually hides the key.
That's true.
He does it himself.
That's true.
And fashions a fake one.
That's true.
To put
That's
people
true.
off the scent. And I assume the people of this really litigious area...
Yeah. The highly civilized society.
The highly litigious society. They must have put it in a glass case.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, fair enough. Good. All right. I just wanted to ask you that.
So the Doctor turns up at Ian's court case.
Yeah. Well, basically, they get the question like, oh, you need. Sorry, Ian gets the question. You need someone to represent you, to defend you in court.
Yeah.
You need a man to defend you in court, and the Doctor stands up and goes, "I am that man," and then stands still for like 10 seconds. You think there'll be a continuation, but there isn't one.
But the Doctor does, like, he gives a fairly good speech at the start, which is just buying time. He says to the judges, like, seriously, guys, I just got here. Like, I need a couple of days to gather a bit.
I've done nothing but lay on the beach for a week.
Like, seriously, guys, I've been doing fuck all. I'm finding it really hard to get back into work. You're going to need to give me a little bit of time.
Yeah, so he gets 2 days.
Yeah,
so
they give him 2 days, and the Doctor turns the troop into a little legal team on the inside.
He assigns tasks to everyone, basically, except himself.
My job is to stand and watch. Yeah.
He tells Altos and Sabitha to go to the library and go through every single murder case in the history of this country, and he gives them 3 hours to do so.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, every piece of legal history seems to be contained inside one bookshelf.
Yeah.
So, like, they do manage to get through it. I
want to play back that one montage scene of them going through books with the South Park music. We're gonna do a montage.
It's gotta be a montage. Anyway, there's a little opportunity for a soundbite coming up, by the way.
Okay.
I made a note. So the Doctor says he's worked out how the key got out.
Yeah, well, they reenact the crime again.
He reenacts the crime and says it's elementary. Like, there's only one place this key can be. It must have been the relief guard.
Yeah.
No one else could have got in and out of the room, which is, good reasoning. I hadn't... Well, like, obviously I considered that, but I thought maybe it could be something else. The Doctor says it's absolutely manifest. but then shits the hell over his lines, like when trying to do it, to explain this. And I would like a little soundbite now, please.
Heard Chesterton in the hall, hid behind the door, and the rest we know.
I will have found that soundbite.
He would have he will have done. This guy. But he shits on line. I've got Dr. shits on lines twice.
I can't improve at this very moment. I can't prove at this very moment.
It actually happens twice in a row. Like 2 consecutive lines. This is going to be the best Doctor fucking up soundbite.
I can't remember this, but I will have found it and added it. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed that, ladies and gentlemen.
Anyway, so cut to this guy, Aidan.
Well, first, Barbara and well, we get to see Aidan in a little bit, but first, Barbara and Susan, they go to the relief god's flat.
Yeah.
And the relief god is Aidan, but they don't meet him at first. They meet his incredibly high-maintenance Stepford wife. And who's just a complete B-word.
Oh, my God.
And she just looks so high-maintenance. It's insane. And then we also get the very first mention.
Fair, she has a bad life. We'll come on to that.
Oh, she has a very rough existence.
I can see why she goes a bit dodgy. We'll come on to that.
Oh, definitely. I'm not holding it against her.
This is terrible.
Yeah. But we also get the very first mention of the dead guy being Ephraim.
Oh, yeah.
That's the first time that we actually find out who Ephraim is.
I guess why would you know it before that?
Yeah, but I think it is kind of weird because Altos hasn't reacted and Ephraim was one of his friends.
Yeah.
In fact, we don't get any reaction from him. But okay, so fine. The dude who died was Ephraim. And so Ephraim was there to get the key and then he was killed.
Yeah.
Alright, okay, and Ian beamed in just at that moment, basically.
Yeah, and Aidan was standing in the corner.
I get it. Now I get it.
Skulking.
Yeah.
Aidan is quite obviously dodgy when you meet him.
And he even does the, how could you know? I stole the, I don't know what you're talking about trope.
And he does 2 things that show his character. First, he tries to hit Susan.
Yeah.
Like, actually just, like, she says something that displeases him, and he just literally goes to smack her down. His wife stops him.
Yeah.
His wife takes Aidan into the other room.
Yeah, and they go outside.
Yeah, and then you hear Aidan mercilessly beating his wife.
Yeah, he strikes his wife.
It's terrible.
It's absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
And then someone in the flat.
This guy hates women. Like,
totally.
Like
he's
in the space
such
of 10
a misogynist
seconds,
piece of shit.
He's tried to beat the shit out of Susan, and then
who's a child.
Who's a child, and then does beat the shit out of his wife.
Yeah. No, he's a misogynist piece of shit.
Yeah.
And someone in the flat. Spoiler alert. It's we'll see. We'll get to that. Someone in the flat calls the prosecutor of Ian's case. And the prosecutor, who answers the phone on speakerphone, very, very suspiciously, I thought, says out loud, "Don't say any more. There are people near. I'll take it on the personal." And then turns off speakerphone and picks up the phone.
Yeah.
And
we don't suspect him at all.
Yeah, people are standing around and you're like, wait, what is this dude trying to hide?
Well, yeah, he's basically answered the phone on speakerphone going, like, we're about to do something criminal. Like,
yeah. I don't want
seriously,
people...
I shouldn't discuss the details of my criminal activity live.
Yeah, being a prosecutor, taking this call in the law firm where I work.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then cut back to court the following day.
Yeah.
The final evidence is being presented, and the prosecutor says psychometric analyses of the mace.
Psychometric.
I know. They have produced evidence.
Ian's fingerprints.
Not his fingerprints, because they've never heard of fingerprints in this society.
But they have got psychometric analysis.
Readings. Yeah, the psychometric readings show that the mace was in his right hand.
Which it was.
It's true. So that's why the killer put it in his hand.
The system works.
Yeah. No criticism here. And the doc... asked to present his final evidence, called Sabitha as a witness, has at this point, drink people, asked her to produce false evidence and asks her to point out who gave her
death.
Yeah. Asks her to point out who gave her the replica key, and she falsely attests to it having been Aidan.
Yeah.
who...
Aidan takes this news really bad.
Yeah, well, first he repeats the trope. He once again goes, how did you know? I mean, this is all a lie.
But then quite quickly admits to absolutely everything.
Says they made me do it.
They made me do it.
And then someone laser blasts the shit out of him so he dies, and everyone stands around.
Minds.
No one cares for like 10 seconds until Stepford wife cries a little. But the prosecutor still claims that Ian and his friends did it. Like he says, when Aidan said that they made me did it, they is the doctor and everyone.
He meant Ian and friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes you think, in this society where the burden of evidence is reversed, why weren't they immediately incarcerated?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
That's an accusation.
Yeah.
But they're not. In fact, the doctor is still handling the case.
That makes no sense.
You're
quite right. If the burden of evidence is reversed, every time you accuse someone, they're immediately guilty until they can prove otherwise.
Exactly.
Society would crumble. Yeah.
It's like the McCarthy era.
Yeah.
It's
nobody can do anything.
It's a witch hunt.
It is what they called in ancient Greece stasis. There is no way that anything can ever be achieved.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the
troop has sent a threatening letter.
They're given no more time to investigate. Mm-hmm. Ian is basically found completely guilty. He's going to be killed very shortly. And Barbara gets a message. This dude turns up with a message that isn't in a sealed envelope.
Yeah.
It is just a folded up piece of paper that says that there'll be another death if they disclose the location of the key. But the messenger, who clearly took this down, hasn't made a note of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's just like...
He's like, here's your message, I gotta go.
Have a good day.
Good news, everybody. And then she gets a call as well.
She gets a phone call, and it's Susan, and she's saying, they're going to kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Susan is handed a phone by her captors. She's been kidnapped. Mm-hmm. She's handed a phone, and all she says is, they're gonna kill me.
You don't know. They might have a gun to her head. Like...
Sure.
Yeah.
But she does also try to go like, no, you gotta listen to me, Bob. And then she's clearly, like, struck.
Yeah.
Yeah. But why doesn't she just go, it's Stepford wife? Because, spoiler alert, it is Stepford wife. Yeah. Anyway,
cutscene, cliffhanger.
Episode 6.
Susan's gonna die. Episode 6.
The keys of Marinus.
Oh, this is so well
written. I love this. I love this whole story so much. I just want to have its babies.
So countdown, Ian's waiting to be executed. When the little hand gets to the star at the top, Ian's gonna die.
I made that note as well. It's like the most arbitrary form of time measurement.
Do you remember, how is Ian going to die? What are they going to do to him?
Oh, they don't say. They're just going to execute him.
They don't say. Yeah, but what does it... I'm quite interested to know what execution entails.
I don't know. He's going to die. They're probably going to laser him to death as well. Okay. But it doesn't matter. So before then... There's this... what I made a note of is there's this arbitrary time unit left until Ian is meant to be executed. However...
Could be days, could be seconds.
Yeah, however, he and the guards in the room, they're standing up, kind of alluding to it being a question of minutes. But clearly it's not.
No.
Yeah.
It's hours.
In fact, didn't they say at the start of the whole proceeding, the legal proceedings...
The like 2 days.
Not just that, but didn't they say at the start, the judges said he will be executed 3 days after the conclusion of the ceremony.
So that's 5 days.
Yeah. Does that mean that he's meant to stand up for 3 days?
No.
He's in a room where there's... and later on, the prosecutor says Ian is going to be killed at the start of the next zenith.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Again, could mean anything.
In 15 zenith units.
Yeah. Ian will die in 15 zenith units.
Yeah. So then Bob and company, they go to see Carla.
They got to do something, so they go and see Aidan's wife, Carla.
Carla,
That's quite right. She pretends to be upset.
Yeah.
Obviously, stop talking to me, my husband's just died. But the second they leave, she starts laughing, as you would.
Yeah.
She starts laughing, and it turns out she's holding Susan captive in a little room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does like a little Bond villain maneuver.
Yeah.
She cries, they leave, and then immediately starts laughing.
Yeah, and skulks into the next room where Susan's there. Why Susan isn't screaming when she hears Barb's voice in 5 yards away from her, God only knows. It's not just Barb. Barb could have easily overpowered them. It's Barb, Althus, and Longo. Yeah. All together, they could have easily overpowered Aidan's wife. All Susan had to do was go, hey, but no.
Hey.
Hey guys.
I'm in here. Anyway.
But she starts talking on the phone, Aiden's wife, what's that, Carla?
Yeah.
Starts talking to one of her co-conspirators.
Well, it's the prosecutor.
Well, they don't show us.
No, but we hear his voice, and we
Yeah,
recognise his voice at this point. Drink, people.
Yeah.
And that's when he says
And he
he's
says
going to be
kill.
executed at the next Zenith.
And he also says to kill Susan.
Yeah, he says, kill Susan. And Barbara and Altos and everyone, they're outside. Barbara puts it together.
Yeah, because, and we should have mentioned this during, and it was quite obvious when it happened. It was like one of those really obvious plot foils. Like Carla said, "Oh, you must have been sick with worry when Susan rang."
Yeah.
And it's like, well, obviously.
But you
like,
didn't
how could you have
know
known?
that she rang, so clearly you're involved. They head back.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it basically just as Aiden's wife has pulled out this Flash Gordon ray gun, which it looks a little bit like a vibrator designed by Tim Burton. It's like this really weird,
Don't go there.
twisty thing with a handle. They subdue her, or rather, Altos subdues her.
Yeah.
And by the way, how did they get into the flat? A moment earlier, they had to ring the doorbell, get let into the flat. But now, suddenly just cut to interior of flat.
Who knows what locking systems are like on these doors? Probably not very good.
Okay.
So Barb tells Taran about how they know Carla was the murderer.
Yeah.
And Carla confesses. But in her confession, she names Ian as an accomplice.
Yeah, exactly.
So
he's still on death row.
And like the prosecutor who's involved, we know he's involved. Like he does say, okay, it does seem Ian's completely innocent. I grant you that. Carla is obviously lying. But under the legal system, nothing I can do, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is basically what the judges say too.
Yeah. But they do this, they finally have the trap for the co-conspirator.
The doctor proposes a trap that they can make.
He knew from the get-go exactly where the key was.
Yeah.
And he's, spoiler alert, it was in the mace. And he's...
It's not spoiler alert, we are actually finding out at this point.
Yeah, but there are so many gratuitous shots of the mace.
Yeah.
That clearly it is in the mace.
I didn't know it was in the mace.
I totally knew it was in the mace.
Me.
I totally knew it. Well, I knew it was in the mace, starting with the first introduction of the mace post-trial.
Yeah.
Because we get to see probably a grand total of 2 minutes of just mace footage. You know? Anyway, it's a trap. It works out.
Yeah, Ian's released. It's fair game. The prosecution system works. So, okay, that does absolutely prove it. Ian is released.
Yeah.
They're given back the key and they leave.
Yeah, but before that, the doctor tells Taran to read Pirro.
Yeah.
Very nice little quirky note there.
Yeah.
And
educational series.
Yeah, very nice. By the way, why would Taran know about Pirro?
Yeah,
he's on a different
true.
planet in the year God knows what.
Absolutely. He's got his own writers to look up to.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah. And Ian goes, well, good thing that you didn't forget to read Pirro. And the doctor says, read him? What nonsense. I met the man.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I told him what to say.
Yeah, I like that.
Anyway, so cut back to the original building now.
Yeah, they teleport out of there. And this is what you said before. Sorry to cut you off there, dude.
Go on.
But they teleport out of there in front of Taran and one of his god buddies.
Yeah.
And they've never seen anything like this before.
No.
And Taran even says, no one's going to believe us when we say this. So in the report, let's just say that they left to bring the key back to its inventor.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah.
And as we said, he's clearly a stand-up, by the rules, by the book kind of guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't want this shit getting out.
Exactly.
So
come back to the island.
So we go back to the island and the original Egyptian Aztec building.
Yeah. Egyptian Aztec building, yeah, okay.
Yartek has taken over the building. Yeah. We saw him all the way back in episode 1, at the end of episode 1, kill Arbitan.
Yeah.
And
or one of his boards.
He's taken over the building.
They're all still wearing the Kermit suits.
Mm. But Yartek, we'll get on to it.
Yeah.
He captures Althos and the blonde girl.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's obvious he wants the key. He's threatening Althos and the blonde girl. He works out there's a bit of sexual tension between them.
This is the first time we hear anything about this, by the way. Those two have just been kind of buddies for the past 6 episodes.
Yartek's a smart guy. He can see the sexual chemistry between them.
Oh, you could cut it with a...
Oh, absolutely.
with a key of Marinus.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So the jig is up, and they tell him that the doctor has the key.
Yeah. Can I just say, there's no way we can do this as a soundbite, but do you remember this? And ladies and gentlemen, if you've seen this, you may remember this, otherwise go back and watch this scene. When one of the Kermits brings in Sabitha to be questioned by Yartek, he stumbles on his own flipper, and they still kept the shot.
I don't remember.
It is
actually.
classic.
Pass me by.
Anyway. And Yartek... okay, so there's sexual tension. Sorry, I cut you off. Go on.
Yeah, there's sexual tension, and they give up the fact that the Doctor has the key.
Yeah.
We see the rest of the troop come back, and the divers attack them. Ian, manhandles them well, takes down one of the divers who's tried to attack them, but they know something's up.
Yeah. In the meantime, by the way, Yartek has inserted all but the one missing key.
Yeah. And Ian, again, reinforcing the fact he's the leader of the group, tells them, doesn't even, give them the choice, tells them, we're splitting up.
Yeah.
Which is his answer to everything. By the way.
When in doubt, split up.
And it's a really bizarre split up. It seems to be a random configuration of people. There's no sense to it.
Now it's him and Susan.
Me and Susan and Doctor and Barbara. And the only reason I can think that he's gone for those groups is that they're unusual pairings. Oh, let's mix it up a bit.
Yeah.
I'm always with bloody Barb or the Doctor. I'm going with Susan, okay?
That's a very good point.
Doctor and Barbara, okay, that sounds like a wacky combination.
The Doctor, by the way, they all basically just wanted to leave. The Doctor has already checked that the TARDIS is okay. The force field is down. He's double-checked the TARDIS is working perfectly well. And he basically just wants to leave, but it's Ian and Barbara who go, no, it's kind of weird that we haven't seen Altos and Sabitha. We need to make sure that they're okay.
Yeah, something's up.
Yeah.
So Ian goes to see Altos.
Yeah. Arbitan.
Arbitan.
With Susan.
Yeah.
This is so hilarious.
No, it's great. It's not hilarious, it's brilliant.
No.
Yartek has dressed up as the White Monk.
Yeah. And he is so clearly a Vord because he's wearing his Kermit suit with a huge, Nefertiti headpiece underneath the robe.
This guy has clearly got, a human body and human face, yet he keeps his diver's suit on and just puts a white robe on over it and pretends to have, a cold or something.
Yeah.
So don't come near me.
He says, part of the machine leaked out onto me. I now have a deadly disease.
Yeah.
Careful, I might sneeze on you.
Oh, okay. Here's the key.
Yeah, not just that. He says, throw the key down.
Yeah.
This key is pretty freaking important, buddy.
Yeah.
Don't just throw it on the floor.
Toss it on the floor.
Yeah.
But Ian, as we know, it's obviously a dodge.
Yeah. But he just
gives him the key.
He throws a key on the floor.
A key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, the Doctor and the rest of the gang, they've found Altos and Sabitha and are freeing them.
Yeah. And after Ian leaves, Yartek does inform. Oh no, sorry. Altos advises that if you put a fake key in, the whole building's going to explode.
It's going to blow up. Yeah. And at the meantime, I don't even know in what order this happens, but in the meantime, fake Arbitan, Yartek, has told one of his Kermit henchmen, go get Sabitha.
Yeah.
And don't worry about Ian and the little child, because the machine will enslave them, basically. Yeah. Sabitha and Altos are freed, and Ian reveals that he gave Yartek the fake key, as you said, sorry.
Yeah, and the building is now going to blow up.
Yeah,
and it does.
So they run out,
the
building totally blows up.
Yeah, the building blows up, and we get a final speech of the Doctor to Sabitha, in which he advises that it was pretty fucking stupid to want to let the machine control them in the first place, and that maybe their whole society could be a bad idea.
Yeah. But he says this at the same time as he says, your father was a great and wise man.
Which he really wasn't.
Yeah, he really wasn't. Need I remind you, Doctor?
Leaving.
Yeah, he blackmailed you into going on a suicide mission.
Yeah.
He wasn't all that nice.
No, he wasn't nice at all. Or he was actually, technically, he was trying to enslave everyone. Maybe he had good intentions at heart for enslaving them, but he was trying to enslave them.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyway, the machine is now gone. The building is blown up, and the Doctor receives the final key as kind of a memento of this occurrence. And then they leave, but they leave in the way that everyone gets a farewell hug and a kiss on the cheek, except for Ian, who in a very fantastically English way, and sort of asexual manner, sorry Flappy, shakes hands with Sabitha. And and then we get back to...
I love being English.
I know you do.
I wouldn't have even shaken hands, I'd have just nodded.
Sabitha.
Sabitha, nice to meet you.
Altos, pleasure. Best of luck, cheerio.
Hope to see you again sometime.
Pip pip.
Off we go. Yeah.
And then they leave, and we get to see the TARDIS miniature fade back out.
Yeah, with, included in which...
is a shot of the building that just blew up.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
I would say. Anyway.
It's good. It's like when you watch Independence Day and the Twin Towers are still there.
Exactly.
That's not a 9/11 joke. That's just...
Yeah.
It's that kind of bizarre. Yeah. Anyway, reviews. I'm wondering if maybe we should do our fan review before we go for our own. I think so. I think it would only be fair.
I think it would be fair as well. So, we're going to do our first fan review ever on Who Back When.
Thank you so much for reviewing episodes with us, people. It makes us feel very included.
And thank you very much to Will, who sent this in. Will, by the way, we really need to give him some props.
He was actually our first Canadian fan.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Numero uno in Canada. Thank you very much for listening, Will. And he also, seriously, very big thanks to Will. He put us up on Reddit twice, on the Doctor Who and on the Gallifrey subreddits. And if you are listening to this podcast, then clearly you're enjoying the show. Please do us and Will a favour by going to the Reddit to the subreddits in question and giving us a vote up.
Some great stuff in there.
Yeah. But Will has also sent in a mini review of the Keys of Marinus, and I think we'll probably figure out how to read user reviews or like fan reviews later on.
Yeah, it's an evolving process. Yeah. But for now, we'll read a paragraph each.
Yeah, we're going to split this up.
Anyway, Will says, I love this story. Every episode was very different, which made it constantly feel fresh and not repetitive, which is a problem that I think Doctor Who had in these early days.
Something great about this story was that the opening and closing shot were the exact same, but in reverse. I thought that was very clever.
The most disappointing thing about this episode was the trial of Ian. It was a great idea, but the execution, no pun intended, was only okay. That's quite true.
That's very nice.
Only the ending felt a bit rushed.
My rating for this story is 4.3 out of 5, which is my best rated story so far. Thank you very much, Will.
Fantastic. Thank you, Will. I think that was an excellent review.
And by the way, I had not noticed that the opening and closing
I didn't know it was
scene...
in reverse. I thought it was just the exact same thing.
Yeah,
That's a really good spot.
That's
really
very
good spot.
Yeah, well spotted. So thanks very much, Will, and everyone else. If you want to have your mini review or your tweet or what have you thoughts about the episode in question read out loud, just tweet us or send it to us through the website. Said that already. Anyway, moving on to our reviews. This time I am starting because the last time you gave me so much shit for making you start, so I'm starting this time.
Okay.
But before I do, I suggest that we both write our scores.
Okay, I've got mine in my head already.
Okay, but write it.
Okay.
I'm going to write mine as well.
Okay. There's absolutely no collusion here, people.
No collusion whatsoever. Alright, so, The Keys of Marinus. First of all, gotta say, this is, without a doubt, my favourite story so far. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't asking for confirmation there, but seriously, it is my favourite story so far. One of the reasons it is my favourite is because it's almost as though every single episode of this story could be a story in itself. Like, it is an almost fully contained Doctor Who adventure, every single episode. And in fact, it is the first sort of allusion to what we get later on, where we have a whole series which has one story arc.
Yep.
And every single story is so elaborate. We get such fantastic characters. We have such an incredible range of different locations and sort of peripheral actors and characters. We get frozen knights from medieval times. We get a trial drama. We get freaking everything. This story arc has it all. I love it. And we also have lots of tiny little aliens that literally play the most minuscule parts ever, only to never return ever again.
It's going to be great for indexing.
I know. Yeah. I love this shit. I'm so enjoying the fact that I'm going to have to add like 3 or 4 alien images to the visual index on Who Back When. Anyway, so I really enjoy this story, and I thought it was not just more multifaceted, it was also, in a way, almost more mature than the other stories. It was more mature, both sort of emotionally in terms of the core characters. We get to know Ian and Barbara very well in these episodes. We get to know... We don't get to know the Doctor at all, I was about to say. We get to know the Doctor really well.
We missed the Doctor for 2.5 episodes.
Yeah, we missed the Doctor for 2.5 episodes, but we do get to know the dynamic of the little group very well. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I have to agree with Will. I think the trial was kind of the weakest link in this story. I like the fact that there is a trial drama, but I think it could have been done a little bit better. It was a little bit too long, maybe. But the story itself is great. It has a few plot holes that I don't understand, but that add to my enjoyment of the show. And I don't even know what to say. I can see you're putting on your shoes, Flappy. You're clearly in a rush for me to finish this off so that we can head off. Okay, I'll just jump into my points. I gave this episode 4.6 Sonic bonus out of 5 because I have to rate it higher than everything else. So far, my highest has been 4.5. This is a 4.6, and I think maybe in previous episodes of Who Back When, I have maybe given the shows or the Doctor Who stories a slightly higher mark than they deserved, only because of like a combination of just the shock and awe of seeing this for the first time, and also nostalgia.
I would say I'm a harsher mark than you, or have been so far.
I think that's true. Well, I don't know if you're harsher, but you're just more realistic about it.
Well, I guess I'm just lower. Like, it's not even hard. My scale is different.
So now, this 4.6, what that represents is a completely honest, unbiased, well, completely biased, 4.6 out of 5 Sonic bonus, because I think it deserves it.
Sorry. Where did the Sonic bonus thing come from?
Oh, I just added it now.
Okay.
I'm just keeping it fresh. It doesn't matter. So it gets 4.6 out of 5 because I think it deserves it. Even though it has some plot holes and even though some things don't really work, they work perfectly well within the context of 1963 Doctor Who. And if this story had aired right now, like today in 2013 with...
Matt Smith.
Exactly. Yeah. Then it probably would have gotten lower than 4.6 because you kind of expect things to flow a little bit better now. You wouldn't have this long, outdrawn trial or court drama. But you did then. And it's fine. I have no problems with that. Yeah, give us your review.
I'm going to be a lot simpler than you were with your review. Okay. I shitting love this.
Okay.
I'm not even going to add all the little, the little bits in of things I was disappointed with. I wasn't really disappointed with that much. Like the plot holes that you allude to, I didn't really see them as plot holes. They were just kind of things that went unexplained, which I'm perfectly happy with.
There's so much stuff in this show so far that's been unexplained that who cares?
But I don't. Yeah,
it's to be expected.
Like I don't think there's anything at the level of the Yeti.
No.
Like,
definitely.
Like there's nothing like what the hell? Like why aren't we talking about that? I mean, I know at the start of the episode I talked about why aren't we exploring this acid a bit more?
Yeah.
But there's nothing to say they have to explore the acid. It's fine.
Yeah.
The acid is still there. Probably is still there.
Yeah.
It's probably still a sea of acid lying there.
Exactly.
Like, it's absolutely fine. Like, I think the acting standard went up a hell of a lot for this episode.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen in previous episodes Barb shitting all over her lines. She doesn't at all in this.
No.
We see a lot more of her. And she actually, like, when she's wailing and she's, being attacked by, sonic headaches,
yeah.
I think she does it really well.
I agree.
And actually, she's a much better actress than I originally gave her credit for, and this episode has made me see it. Ian, I think, solidifies himself as, like, I know we've said it many times before.
He's the leader.
But not even so much the leader. He's a real man. Like, he's not afraid of a fight. He's not afraid to get stuck in, stop rapists, just generally be the hero. Like, and they have started talking about, maybe he's a little bit too forceful. It's a little bit like Rick in The Waking Dead. Everybody starts realising, hey, like, why is that guy the leader?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll explore that a little bit more in later episodes. But no, I think the characters were really well fleshed out. I think as opposed to, like, the previous Doctor Who episodes we've seen, the whole story hung together quite well.
Yeah.
There weren't too many cul-de-sacs of reason. There weren't too many things that went unexplained, and I loved the hell out of this. Now, I have to say, we did do our marks independently.
Yep.
I gave it precisely the same mark of 4.6.
Nice.
But I have been marking things lower than you, so relatively...
No, because
I like this
recall,
episode more than you.
No, you don't. Because as you'll recall, from now on, my ratings are perfectly realistic.
Fine.
They're on the Jack scale of things.
I don't think I will be going beyond 4.6 for about 30 years.
Yeah, same.
Like, until we get...
Well, I don't know.
I'm just saying it's unlikely. Until we get to David Tennant and John Sim doing that master shit.
Okay, maybe
great.
you won't. I think when we get to... Well, actually, you know what? We don't know, because we haven't seen all the Perd movies and whatever.
Absolutely
but
true.
I'm pretty sure that I'm going to get this high when we get to Tom Baker again.
Yeah, possibly.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, okay. Tom Baker might touch these heights.
Check back in a year and a half.
Yeah. But at this moment, I've got to say, this is my favourite episode so far,
Nice.
and I'm giving it my best mark by far so far.
Yeah.
4.6. Fantastic. Well done, Terry Nation.
Well done.
Well done.
Okie dokie, so that concludes episode 5 of Who Back When, The Keys of Marinus. Check back hopefully next week. Well, yeah, probably next week for episode 6, in which we will be reviewing the Aztecs. Looking forward to seeing that. In the meantime, why don't you tweet or send us your mini review of the Aztecs, and we may or may not. In fact, yeah, we will read them out loud on the podcast.
And we'll try not to be influenced by them either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, please do like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, vote us up on Reddit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a new one. Yeah,
Yeah,
brilliant.
totally. And I probably mentioned this at the start of the episode. I've also added a comment feature on the website now. So if you have listened to this episode, there's anything you agree with, you disagree with, please do share your comments with us right there. We'll publish everything online, and we may even bring it up in the next one. So,
And I, for one, would love to hear from you. It makes me feel like less of a nerd sitting in a room.
Yeah.
Like when other nerds are coming together to tell me what they think too.
Yeah, sitting in other rooms listening to us.
Sitting in other rooms listening to us. Thank you so much.
okie dokie, thank you for probably listening to us for about 2 hours. Have a great one. Which catchphrase are you going to be ripping off this time?
Bing bong hey hey people.
I hate you, Flapjack. Well, you know what? You've sucked the joy out of this. Catch you in the next episode, people. Shamalama ding dong.
Who back when?